What's up, YouTube? Giants take another L this week. Third straight week that they have had a loss, now falling to 2-5, losing 27-21 against the Arizona Cardinals. And let's just talk about what really happened in this game, because there's definitely a lot of points that I really want to focus on regarding how the Giants played, how the Cardinals played, because there's definitely some things that I feel the Giants did alright, and really they almost came out of this game with a win, and they had the opportunity to win, even though I do think the Cardinals were the better team this week, and they really deserved to win more. But the Giants definitely did some things right, and so I definitely want to highlight some of that stuff. So one thing that I will say, though, the Cardinals definitely look like the better team. Definitely starting out the game, I mean, they jumped up to a 14-0 lead, a 17-0 lead after getting the field goal by Zane Gonzalez, who was perfect in the game, which Aldrich Rosas was not. So, I mean, they definitely have the edge in the kicking department, that's for sure. But, Chase Edmonds was unbelievable today. I mean, obviously the Giants' defense is rough, but he's looking like a really solid player. And as someone who started David Johnson in fantasy thinking that he was going to be fine to play, which I guess the Cardinals decided after declaring him active, like, you know what? No. Let's just not use David Johnson. Let's just go with Chase Edmonds the whole game, who, by the way, came back onto the field after throwing up and still had a monster game, having multiple touchdowns and going over 100 yards in rushing, and pretty much leading this offense for the Cardinals, because Kyler Murray didn't really do too much passing. I mean, he was 14 for 21, 89 yards, I believe, in total for passing. I mean, just looking at the box score just before doing this reaction, which really shows you just how much they were reliant on the running game, but they came out with a win, so it definitely was a working strategy, especially since just how dominant Chase Edmonds was against this lackluster rushing defense that the Giants were offering. I mean, he pretty much went untouched on one of his first touchdown run, I believe. I mean, it was just really, really easy for him to dominate in this game. So, yeah, that's definitely a negative in terms of the Giants aspect, but the Cardinals definitely had their game plan set out. They were going to dominate on the run and definitely use one of their strengths to their advantage, and it showed heavily. Now, for the Giants, at least, some positives. Michael Thomas, of course, one of the better special teams players in the league. I mean, he's really, really good on his special teams. I mean, special teams captain, and he was definitely a big part in this game. I mean, a block punt recovered for a touchdown. I mean, that pretty much kept the Giants in the game, because at that point he made it 17-14, and going into halftime, I believe. So the Giants were definitely in this one, even though they really weren't looking like they were going to be when this game first started. And Ellison gained a receiving touchdown. The receivers in this game, they weren't that great. I mean, I know it was bad weather conditions, so a lot of guys weren't wearing their gloves, and I know that this was a tough game to make catches. But some of these guys, like Saquon Barkley, had a really key drop in the last drive of the game, and when the Giants needed to get yards, it just dropped the ball. Evan Ingram had some major drops. Really, the only wide receiver that really stood out to me, other than Ellison, who got the touchdown, obviously, was Golden Tate, who I think is really starting to fit together well with Daniel Jones. And since he pretty much is the number one wide receiver on the roster, that's definitely something that is a positive for the Giants, because at least if you have like one nice receiver that has a nice connection with the quarterback, who's also someone that could really you could just give him like a pass short, and he can make something happen. I mean, that's the type of player Golden Tate normally is. Like, he's just someone that he could make something from nothing and just give extra yards on a play that might just seem like, if it's just like a straight up dump, he can just give you like an extra 4 or 5 yards, and just, he's a gamer pretty much. Like, he's someone that's gonna give you that extra mile, and really, he definitely showed that he's going to be a key part to this Giants offense. He's really starting to connect with Daniel Jones, who Daniel Jones, I mean, yes, he had his moments, but but the turnovers, especially the fumbles, that they need to put a lid on that. I mean, those were really, really costly. And I get it. The Cardinals had 8 sacks in the game. Chandler Jones had 4 on his own, and he also had one of the forced fumbles. So, I mean, he just looked like a monster out there. But I know the offensive line was great in this game, but you got to hold on to the ball if you want to keep your team in the game, especially when the final score was only down by 6. One of those fumbles, if you kept onto the ball maybe, or if you were just like, I don't know, throw it out real quick, maybe something else could happen in that drive. Maybe the score would have been a bit different. Like, we don't know. Of course, the score would have also been different too if Arthur Grosas had made the field goal that would have eventually, knowing how this game was playing out, would have ended up having this game be tied at one point. That also would have been a key moment in this game that, of course, because the Giants just doing giant type things, they don't convert under opportunities, and now we're 2-5 in the season. So where do we go from here? So I knew for a fact that this was not going to be a playoff team. I knew that going into the season. I just wanted to see some young guys develop, and I just wanted to see what we had in Daniel Jones. I wanted Saquon to build on his year. I mean, I'm glad that he's back. A bit of a scary moment where it looked like he might have re-aggravated his injury, but he ended up coming back out, and he ended up getting a touchdown after that, so props to Saquon. Doing Saquon-type things out there. I mean, he's definitely one of the bright spots that we got in this team. Hopefully, we don't pull an Odell and, trade him after extending him. Please. Please, I need something. But, yeah, no, this is going to be a rough season. I know technically the Giants are technically, I guess, still in the division because the NFC East is terrible pretty much. And I know Dallas just blew out the Philadelphia. So, like, they're pretty much a game out from second place, I guess. Because, yeah, every team in this division has their major flaws, and I mean, whoever gets out of this division is not going to make it far in the playoffs. Like, they're probably just going to get, like, routed in the first week of the playoffs. Like, probably in the wild card games. I can't see any one of these teams getting a bye. But the Giants are not going to be the lucky ones, or lucky, I guess, to get that spot. Because this is a rebuild. This is a rebuilding team. I want that to be 100% clear. Like, I don't know what Gettleman was saying about, like, potentially still contending. I mean, we're getting guys like Golden Tate, who's an aging receiver. I mean, yes, he's the best one we have at the moment. I mean, only comparable one would be Sterling Shepard. I guess Evan Ingram too, because he's basically a wide receiver. I get that we need some type of offense, but this is a rebuilding team, and the focus needs to be on the young guys. Ryan Connolly, when he comes back next season, I want to see what he can do because he looked really good for the little time that we had him. Saquon, I just keep on building on what he's been doing. I mean, he still looks like a monster, someone that should be, in my opinion, the key to this offense. Like, run the offense through Saquon Barkley, and this team is going to be so much better off. Just let Daniel Jones, especially at this early stage in his career, just let him be a decent game manager. He doesn't have to force to be like just forcing balls, just trying to like do something. Don't make him be like a Patrick Mahomes. You don't need to like make him like be like some sort of like MVP level type talent. He doesn't need to be that. If he's just a solid game management type quarterback, especially this early in his career, and you just let Saquon just completely just dominate, then who's to say what this team can't do in the future? But that's the key, the future. This season right now is pretty much going kind of expectedly, like the way I thought it would, honestly. Like, if you told me at this point in the season we'd be 2-5, I would have believed you. But that being said, especially if you're looking at some of these games score-wise, this doesn't necessarily look like a 2-5 team, but I do think it is an accurate representation of where the team is at talent-wise. Yes, we were holding on against the Patriots. Yes, we only lost by 6, but we still need more pieces. We still need to complete the team, especially the defense. We're not winning anything with this defense in its current shape and form. I mean, yes, we got Jabril Peppers, and yes, the defensive line is starting to shape nicely. I mean, Marcus Golden has had his moment. I mean, he's got a good amount of sacks this season. And, of course, the defensive tackle spot, we're pretty much set. But, yeah, we need to complete the defense and just really just work on also just improving the offense a little bit, piece by piece, make sure that we have our receiving core set and the offensive line is also set too. I mean, I think offensively we're in a much better spot than defensively, but overall, just right now, we're just in a space where we just need to make sure that we build for the future and just make sure that whatever we got working for the future, that we know that it's the answer, and that the days where the Giants were winning Super Bowls aren't too far away in the future. But right now, of course, it's not happening this season. I'm sorry to break your hearts, Giants fans, because I know nobody's thinking we're winning the Super Bowl this season. Who am I even kidding? Well, yeah, Cardinals, of course, looking like a solid team now a bit. I mean, Kyler Murray's definitely coming together a little bit. I mean, I know he had some kind of rookie mistakes. I mean, going out of bounds and pretty much giving the Giants like extra time before the 2-minute warning, that's a rookie mistake. But yeah, no, the Cardinals definitely have something going on, and I'm looking forward to see what they can do. I mean, who knows? I mean, they're 3-1 now this season, so it's not like the playoffs push isn't too far from realistic. But for the Giants, at least for us, just gonna have to go out there next week and really see what this offense can do. I mean, Saquon, of course, now he's back. We saw that he had some really good moments. I mean, he didn't look necessarily 100% healthy, but he still went out there and he still had a really good game. Daniel Jones limited the turnovers. That's priority number 1. And make sure that this Giants offense keeps on rolling and the defense just gets better, I guess. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys are thinking about the NFL or Giants or just anything really in the comments down below. Hit subscribe. Look in the description. I got my Twitter down there so that you can get more updates about what I'm thinking about anything. And thank you guys for watching.